It's counters down here. We're in.
So you got 4 years?
In this job, I did one. I told them I would do 2 more. We'll see. I've always said I will stay as long as they need me to stay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of work to.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of work to.
I couldn't stay through. Started there. Holy mackerel, what a challenge that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Get all new people coming in.
Well, that had to happen. That was by design.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
We're just gonna hang out a couple more minutes
Okay.
here. So there's a few of us in the room, and then I'll make some introductions when we get rolling here.
Sounds good.
So how I typically run through these, Mike, is I'll read through the public hearing notice, then we'll motion to open the hearing, and then you're welcome to add some detail on the program if you like, and then leave it open to questions, comments.
Yep.
And then I think from here we'll close it. We didn't receive any written comments in advance of this, so.
All right. This fun stuff. Here, there's Cam.
Hey, Cam got in.
Yeah.
It's gone. Didn't know we were here. I thought.
Was the door open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Odd time. Usually we think you'd open
Yeah.
at like 8:30. It's open at 8:20.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna have to bolt at 9 if it's not.
Okay.
I know. What we got here? What's going on, Mike?
A whole lot. How are you?
Tomorrow is the village presentation for ESD.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put it on mute a second, Jennifer, because I'm streaming.
Okay.
Nothing about you. Don't take it personal.
Right.
But they lean right, and like Tom's all about working, but it's not gonna be like the design and the planning process will not be onerous.
It's too bad. Get that baby flying. That's our only bad spot in the village right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Right downtown.
just sticks out.
I feel like the West End could use a little spur, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not as high traffic, But and this will be
There's a couple
interesting to
of
see if
bands
people come
recently.
out.
Houses.
What is?
I find like on the lake side, like this new house, it's all boarded up.
Oh, really? So it just
Then we're trying to get the county and the town to consolidate their highway departments.
Yeah.
Someplace else could take over those properties. And that was-
it was a good plan. It just doesn't really. And honestly, like to the other Tom's credit, like the state didn't really got on board with that as much. So the village pushed it, but it's like, how long can we keep applying for the same thing year after year? Then they go back for Maine and Buffalo and. Well, there. All right, I'm gonna get going. Let me check my phone here. Okay, I'm gonna go through the public hearing notice. And then we'll open the public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, also known as the code, will be held by the Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation, the issuer, on Monday, August 10th, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. local time at the Hamburg Town Hall Conference Room 1, 6100 South Park Avenue, Hamburg, New York, in connection with the following matters as described below and more fully set forth below. The public hearing will also be held via Zoom teleconference. Hilbert College, a New York not-for-profit educational corporation and organization described in section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, which is exempt from federal income taxation pursuant to section 501A of the code, having an office at 5200 South Park Avenue, Hamburg, New York 14075. The college has applied to the issuer requesting that the issuer issue in one or more series its revenue bonds, series 2024 Hilbert College 2027 capital project as qualified 501c3 bonds under section 145 of the code in an aggregate maximum principal amount not to exceed $7 million. The bonds to be used by the college for the purpose of financing as part of a plan of financing a certain project, the project known as Hilbert College Capital Project located at the college's campus, 5200 South Park Avenue, Hamburg, New York 14075, in the town of Hamburg, Erie County, New York. The land consisting of A, the renovation and expansion of its existing athletic facilities, the athletic facility improvements, B, the renovation and modernization of the existing St. Joe's dormitory building, including interior renovation of student rooms and common areas, replacement of finishes and fixtures, upgrades to mechanical, electrical, plumbing, ventilation, and climate control systems, exterior masonry repairs, roof repairs or replacement, and related building improvements. And together with the athletic facility improvements, also known as the improvements, C, the acquisition and installation in and around the improvements of certain items of machinery, fixtures, equipment, and other items of tangible personal property, and together with the land and the improvements, the facility, and D, the building, a debt service reserve fund, if any, paying capitalized interest, if any, and paying certain other costs incidental to the issuance of the bonds. The costs associated with the items A through D above hearing thereafter collectively referred to as the project costs. The college is and will continue to be the owner and operator of the facility to be financed by the proceeds of the bonds. It is intended that the interest of such bonds will be excluded from gross income for federal income tax purposes to section 103A of the code. The issuer will loan the proceeds of the bonds to the college to finance all or a portion of the project costs pursuant to a loan and trust agreement executed and delivered contemporaneously with the issuance of the bonds by and between the issuer and the college. The college has requested the issuer to issue the bonds. The bonds will be special limited obligations of the issuer paid recoverable solely from the revenues derived from the payments made by the college pursuant to the loan agreement and secured by certain assets of the college pledged to the repayment of the bonds. The issuer will, at the above stated time and place, provide a reasonable opportunity to all interested persons to present their views either orally or in writing on the location and nature of the project and the proposed plan of financing for the project by the issuance of bonds. The bonds shall not be a debt of the state of New York or any political subdivision thereof, including the town of Hamburg, and neither the state of New York nor any political subdivision thereof, including, that's the town of Hamburg shall be liable thereon. The issue will broadcast the public hearing via live Zoom teleconference. Furthermore, the public is encouraged to offer its comments in writing to the issuer by email or via USPS mail sent to Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation, 6122 South Park Avenue, Hamburg, New York, no later than August 11th, 2026. Minutes of the hearing will be made available to the town supervisor of the town of Hamburg. Approval of the issuance of the bonds by the town supervisor of the town of Hamburg is necessary under section 147F of the code in order for the interest on the bonds to be excluded from the gross income for federal income tax purposes. Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation, Sean Doyle, Executive Director, dated July 10th, 2026. Motion to open the public hearing at 8:36 a.m.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Bob and Tom. The hearing is now open. With us, Jennifer is Mike Cornell, as president of Hilbert College. Do you want to talk at all to the project or to the college and its impact in Hamburg?
Well, I always start, we are the college in the South Towns. We're the only college campus south of the city. You've got Trocaire, but there's no residence halls. So we've got a 45, 50 acre campus, centrally located, growing lots of new programs and taking steps into things like the trades and some other things, capitalize on things that are happening regionally in the macro economy. Enrollment steady, like all privates, it's up and down. You may recall that the college purchased Valley College a few years ago, and that continues to be profitable. So like across our enterprise, we're very, we're stable, as stable as they come right now in private higher ed in the Northeast. The project particularly would envision improvements to our athletic complex.
Mary, I'll take over for notes. Do you mind letting in Jamel? I think he's sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. And 45 to 50% of our enrollment are athletes. So continuing to do, and that's one of the growth areas in higher ed is we've got a lot of young people who want to follow the dream for a couple more years, and we're happy to help them. So that's an important growth area that we continue to work with. And St. Joseph's dorm was built in 1969, and there is
Looks it.
yeah, it looks it. But I mean, the rooms are like when you go look at other colleges, our dorm rooms are spacious, the hallways are spacious, the common areas are large. So it's just an opportunity to take that space, which has long served its need well, but it needs an update and refresh. So we're excited to be able to do that. It'll take place. It'll take place over a period of weeks. We can't. We have, I don't know, maybe 60
Like when we're closer to you.
semesters. So, I'd love to say we can knock it all out in the summer. But it'll take some time to do. But it's a solid building. Buildings are good. Just needs a refresh. And but for this financing, it's honestly difficult to put that kind of money into that building, all at one time so that the students. And people look at our campus as one that is making progress, investing in its physical plan. I think that does give us a competitive advantage because that's not an area where a lot of our competitors have been able to really spend a lot of money. And for us to be able to do that gives us a real advantage. And the opportunity to do it through the IDA is obviously a unique opportunity and one that really is the thing that's going to make these things possible for us. The other thing I'll just say by way of economic impact, so we're a $35-ish million operation just on the Hilbert side of the enterprise. A typical multiplier is like 1.5%, something like that for our college for the residential population, maybe 1.85, 1.9. So you're talking about an economic impact of $50 to $60 million a year, and growing. So, we're larger employers in Hamburg. So, we're I think an important part of the overall economy of Hamburg, and obviously you guys recognize that, otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here. So it's a good.
Is that a common stat? I've never heard that.
What's that?
The
multiplier.
Multiplier.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah, I just
That's you guys talk about.
Yeah, a little bit. Like just in terms of, when people look at higher ed, I mean, we're in a battle for legitimacy as an institution across the country. So there's lots of conversation around the impact of colleges on communities, particularly as people talk about the enrollment cliff and things like that, and efforts to keep colleges financially viable and open. The question of, well, what is the economic impact of a college anyway, often comes up. So, and I did a little homework just on a typical money multiplier. My old economic teacher had it, put that on every once in a while. It's 1.34, depending on where you are. But for colleges with a residential population like we have, it's close, it's north of 1.5, up close to 2.0. So, could we do more to, incorporate Hilbert into the town and the village? Yes. And we've had conversations about that to do more. But, for a large employer, we have a significant economic impact, and we want to make sure we continue to grow. And we have plans to grow. So making sure that we have dorms that reflect modernity will certainly help. And I'm happy to answer any questions. It's just kind of what I have my way.
So what are you doing with the athletic facilities?
We're still waiting to kind of see what that'll all look like. There's been long talk of a turf athletic field.
Yeah.
So that may be something we do.
Can you cover that with these funds?
Yeah. Yep.
There's another field that you may be familiar with.
I'm aware.
I feel like costed
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah. The key here is it won't be a track. The track was a huge amount of that expense.
Okay, fair point. Yeah.
And we also found a $800,000 gas tank that
Okay.
we didn't know was there, which caused some challenges. So, but it's a clean site, so we've had. If that's the route we go, we've got that place in the accounts. So we've done our homework, on all these possible elements of it to make sure that once we figure out exactly where we want to go, we kind of put the amounts together.
What are the employment efforts that they have?
So we have about 200-ish employees. It varies as we bring in adjuncts and things like that. We've actually just recently, a couple of years ago, there was a decision made to outsource things like maintenance and campus safety and things like that. And those were, and I'm not going to say those decisions were thoughtfully arrived at, but they didn't achieve the results they wanted. So just in the last 2 months, we hired a dozen campus safety people instead of allied. Hired 6 maintenance 80 folks instead of the single firm we're using there. So we've brought on 18 full-time employees, 4 part-time employees just in the last 2 months. So that number, I don't have the FTE count off the top of my head, but come on.
At least they had calculated in the application, 8.3 million in annual wages paid through the college. So that's just, Mike has really highlighted the economic impact of the college, but as a board, like, this was a good opportunity with Hilbert at the table to kind of restate, the importance and the impact of the college to the town of Hamburg. That's significant. Those are,
Yeah.
you're among the probably top 15 employers, talking school districts to talking the town. The town budget is about what, 45 million. So that's a big budget, like $33 million budget, big budget. This impact on temporary construction labor would be over $2 million, 24 full-time temporary construction jobs as a result of the project as well, just to highlight some of the economic numbers that dovetail off of Mike.
Will the field, does it just help you offer more competitive athletic programs, or
Yeah,
is there a big plan for the field? Like you're gonna put football back, or?
well, we have football.
Oh, I thought that went away. Oh, you still have a football. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's part of the challenge, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have 5 field sports right now that use it: men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's soccer, football. We would add flag football, the rest of our conference. So having a turf field is table stakes right now.
Sure.
So that's the direction.
Project that put baseball